Hello, 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 you beautiful working class people. Man, it's been a crazy month. Uh, I was on my way home to do some do a video when I saw the George Floyd thing and that Karen lady from the park in New York. They call, I'm gonna call the cops and tell them a black man's threatening me. Who I just saw today, she got charged, or she's getting charged with like falsify, I don't know, whatever that is, like falsely accusing somebody of something, like falsifying a police report or whatever the hell that was. But it's been a crazy wild month. I don't have to explain that to you. I've been trying to make sense of it. Every time I thought I was getting a grip on like what was happening and I was ready to kind of talk about it, something new happens. Something new comes out. I mean, hell, just today, I thought I finally had it all. I was like, all right, I'm ready to, I got to get back into this because it's been a while. I've also been working on some other stuff. I have something I'm going to be doing with somebody I went to college with. She's a black female friend of mine who lives in Australia. She's from America, but moved to Australia, and she's going to be moving back to America once COVID allows that. Um, we're going to be doing a podcast type thing together. It's going to be called Two Democrats, One Cup. We've been kind of planning that and working on that. Um, so that'll be interesting. You'll be getting to see, topics discussed between two people that are more left leaning, but, myself, obviously, I'm very, very focused on class issues and how it affects working class people. And, as a black woman, um, she will obviously be a little more focused on like, things and how they affect, things from a racial perspective. But she also comes from I don't want to call it affluent because I don't think she grew up affluent, but a more upper middle class background. So, she'll be able to provide that kind of perspective on things. Just to kind of highlight the differences in like our perspectives and what we represent and our views. She's a Pete Buttigieg supporter, big Pete Buttigieg supporter, and obviously I was a big, well, not as big in 2020, but in 2016 I was fully aboard the Bernie Sanders train. In 2020 I don't know, I wasn't as fully aboard because I realized he wasn't willing to fight the fight that needed to be fought. He was only willing to go so far, and I didn't really feel like he was a fighter enough. But policy wise, and the identification of problems in this country, I was 100% supportive of Bernie Sanders, and all of his policies and stuff he was wanting to do. So that'll kind of give an example of like difference in perspectives we'll be presenting. So I think it could be interesting, and it's certainly unique. I've never heard of any show where you have kind of both elements within the Democratic Party kind of debating ideas. It's usually always presented as um, mainly the establishment corporate Democrats, or you'll have like progressive shows on their own, but they never do anything together where you're getting to see both sides within the Democratic Party. So I think that could be interesting. That's going to be coming out in like 3 or 4 weeks. We're still finalizing everything with it and kind of working on the timeline, but pretty excited for that. Been reaching out to some Aurora City Council members about trying to get them to come on and just kind of talk, so I can kind of question them and get them to explain to voters um, some of the things that are issues that need to be addressed at the local level, and like how we voters can go about doing that, to apply pressure to city council and enact the positive change that working class people need to see in our communities. Where I live in Aurora, Colorado, the median income is about $30,000. That's a poverty wage. So just let that sink in. That means 50% or more of people in my city are paid so little that they cannot survive on their own with one full-time job. Like they can't support themselves and live a life of dignity with one full-time job. Some of you think that's okay. Some of you understand how fucked up that is. That should not happen in the richest country in the world. I just read the other day we have the most billionaires on the planet, and we only make up, our country I think makes up like 5% of the population in the world, and we have more billionaires than anybody else. But we also have cities like mine, a city of 300,000, right between Denver and the airport, where the average citizen here is making a poverty wage because of the cost of living versus the rate of pay. And these are things as working class people that really screw us and screw us hard, and we have to address these things. We cannot continue to just sit back and do nothing about them, regardless of your religion, your skin tone, your gender, your sexual orientation, any of that. It doesn't really matter. All these people care about is how much money you got and how much money you can make for them. And we gotta start fighting back on that. So I want to start getting some of the, because I have a the area I live, my city council member is she's an amazing, I think she's like 25, 26, something like that. I don't know. She's an amazing Latina woman. Ran for city council when she was like fresh out of college. Might have still been in college. I don't know. She's amazing. If I can ever get her on, you guys will be amazed by her. And then we have a couple other pretty great city council members who are really dedicated to public service and trying to improve the lives of average citizens, and combating this corrupt system we have. I mean, like in where I live, for example, our city council voted to not have any ethics rules in place last year. They voted against having ethics laws. So that means they can just take bribes, no transparency about their campaign contributions. It's insane. So I want to have a few city council members come on and just explain, break down like what are the issues to tackle at the local level, and then how we can tackle those things. And then I want to reach out to my state rep, who I have not personally met before, but these city council members that I trust and respect tell me that she's a good one. And hopefully I can reach out to her and kind of meet her in person and kind of talk with her and get her to come on, and then we can, after we discuss the issues that are more state level issues and how to address them, I can get a state rep to come on and kind of highlight the issues that are issues that need to be tackled at the state level instead of the local or federal level. And maybe she can give us some tips on how to do that too, because we got to start making these changes. I mean, this incoming economic depression is, I don't know if you're feeling it yet where you are. Luckily, my job was kind of saved somewhat by the stimulus bill, but it's coming. It's coming for all of us. I mean, they're expecting massive evictions, I think starting this month or next month. It's coming. You got to get ready. You're already seeing, if anything, you're seeing a complete lack of competent leadership at all levels in this country, whether it be the corporate side, government, state, local. I mean, it's just a massive failure of leadership in this country. And, I know the easy thing for us is to point fingers and, blame them. But at some point we have to take accountability and change our actions, because we're the ones voting for them. Even though, I mean, I have people that tell me they believe Joe Biden like sexually assaulted that woman that accused him of sexually assaulting her, but they're still going to vote for him. It's like, if we're voting for people that we think broke the law or think sexually assaulted people, or we know, like my state just had a Senate race, a Democratic primary between two people. One of them was our former governor, who is found guilty of ethics violations and bribery, type stuff. He won. The Democratic voters in this state chose a guy that was found guilty of ethics violations and bribery, and we just voted for that guy. And this same guy ran for president. His name is John Hickenlooper. He was one of the like 25 Democrats that ran for president. He ran for president and basically vowed to block and prevent any and all change that the Democratic voters in Colorado want to see enacted, and they still voted for him. And then they're going to turn around and blame Republicans when shit goes bad. And it's the same thing we voters do every fucking election. Like, We vote for these people that we know are corrupt, creepy, basically used car salesmen, and then we act shocked and appalled when they don't do right by us. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. And the only way to stop that is to change our behavior. These rich people are never going to change our behavior. We got, I don't know how many thousands of years or hundreds of years or decades of years. I don't know what amount of evidence you need, but study history as I have. It's a hobby of mine. It's my true first love. Study history and you notice rich people always throughout history, throughout civilizations, rich people do the same thing. We have to change our behavior. They're never going to change their behavior. They are never going to change their behavior. We have to change our behavior. And, that's what we're here to do. We are the solution. We are here to be the solution instead of the problem, which is what we are currently doing by this nonsense, lesser of two evils. Oh, jeez. But been away for a while, so I wanted to get back in the habit of doing this. I was planning on doing this a little earlier, but I had to write a letter, I guess, for lack of a better word, to my city council for the city council meeting tonight because they just doing some crazy stuff. But I'm gonna make this one quick. I just saw before I came on here that Colin Kaepernick struck a deal with Disney. So tomorrow I'll be talking about, that kind of what that means for the movement. Because to me, it kind of feels like the movement just committed suicide, but we'll see. The corporatization of the movement, damn, just wild. But we definitely got to talk about the COVID stuff and just how insane it is that we're now seeing surges. I don't know. I work for an airline, and the airlines are increasing flights during the surges in COVID. Like, how the hell are we ever going to stop these surges in COVID if nobody cares? Like, these businesses do not care. It's just crazy. Like, all they care about is trying to make money. When all this could have been avoided if we had just used brains in the first place. We're going to talk about that probably tomorrow because I got to go up here. I got to eat some dinner, get ready for the city council meeting. But just want to do this real quick because it's been a while and I need to get back in the habit of doing it. But tomorrow we're going to talk about Kaepernick, the movement, coronavirus responses, and these corporations and like what they're doing, because we got to open our eyes. You have to know who your enemy is to defeat your enemy. You can't be thinking your fellow citizens are your enemies when your enemies are not your fellow citizens. All right. But I hope you guys are staying safe out there. I hope you paying your bills, able to. I hope you surviving, because it's going to get rough and we're going to have to make some changes. So come back. We're going to talk about some changes. I hope to see you guys again soon. And peace.